attorney advised me not to be on the show tonight because the rumor is that we're going to be indicted shortly. Okay. Having said that, this is the same circuit attorney that released 35 of the protesters that torched and looted downtown St. Louis, but now she wants to indict me. I didn't shoot anybody. I just held my ground, protected my house, and I'm sitting here on television tonight instead of dead or putting out the smoldering embers of my home.
Absolutely. A Missouri homeowner says he and his wife are expected to be indicted after being armed during a confrontation with protesters who broke into their gated community, their gated house.
Here with reaction is the host of the Dave Rubin Show, a guy named Dave Rubin. Dave, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys.
Okay, so can you explain that to us? Here's somebody who was in their house with their family. They heard a disturbance. They looked out. They saw these people breaking down the gate, trespassing on private property. They went to get their gun because they felt that they were in peril, and now they may be in trouble?
Well, Brian, I don't know that I can explain it any better than that. I mean, this is seriously dangerous. The McCloskeys did not wake up that morning with the decision that they were going to go out there and hunt people down. They protected their property. It was a private street. A gate was broken into. We've been watching for weeks, probably over a month now, of businesses being burned down and people being attacked on the streets and windows being broken and all sorts of stuff. They did what is their God-given right, which is protected by the Second Amendment in the United States, to protect their property. They did not harass anybody. They certainly didn't shoot anybody. And the idea that they could possibly be indicted, I mean, that's a far bigger indictment of the criminal justice system than it is of the McCloskeys. They're American heroes. I mean, this is a seriously chilling story that everyone needs to pay attention to. If you can't protect your own property and your family in a time when we're being told that they're going to defund the police, then we have a major problem on our hands.
So, Dave, you brought up the Second Amendment, and what are the implications for our right to bear arms as things like this develops, and especially if it's true that there is an indictment around the corner?
Yeah, well, look, we've been hearing all sorts of stats that more guns have been bought in the last couple of months than any time in American history over the last several decades. I'm actually a first-time gun owner now, just in the last month. I think people are realizing that police are doing the best they can. I think most Americans, probably 90+% of Americans, believe that 90+% of police officers are doing a tough job and doing a great job most of the time. But because there's this radical left Marxist movement, I mean, that is what it is. You know, look on the Black Lives Matter website. That's what it says it is. When they say defund the police, they mean defund the police. And if we don't have police to protect us, then you have to be able to protect yourself. And by the way, if you have police to protect you, you still have the right to protect yourself. So I think more people are realizing that your security is on you. And in a bizarre sense, that is actually good. That is actually returning to the Constitution. The McCloskeys were not trying to hurt anyone. Just remember, these are people just like anyone watching Fox and Friends this morning. And if a mob showed up outside of your house as you're watching videos of stores being burned down and private property being looted, you would want to protect yourself and your family too. They didn't wake up that morning with the decision, oh, we're going to go out there and harass people. This was on their own property.
Right, good point. And Dave, let's move on and talk about another topic, and that is the president of Goya Foods, family-run business, came out and appeared with the president, said some nice things about him and his pro-business attitude and policies. And because of that, there was this huge global Goya pushback boycott, and it's turned into, I guess, flipped around. Now it's becoming a boycott. So now we're playing politics with beans. Here is Mike Opelka on how this all got started.
What's going on here is the offendinistas, as we call them, are trying to make sure that only their voice is heard. And if you don't agree with them, they want you shut down. So he's a brave man. I support this CEO. It looks like love is winning. And that's really what this is about, taking a negative and turning it into a positive that works for the employees of Goya and the people who need food right now. So we're trying to fight anger with love.
buying the food, give it to food banks. Dave, how do we get here?
The offendanistas, I like that one. Well, how do we get here? I mean, we've been dealing with this. People that have been paying attention to these types of stories on college campuses of deplatforming professors and not letting certain speakers come to campus and things like that. This has been going on for quite some time, but I think it is time that average people decide to cancel culture. So this is a beautiful thing. This is what the market and capitalism and competition are all about. This is a beautiful American story, because as people are going in to just try to take out Goya, it's like other people are saying, no, we're going to actually support them, and I hope they come out stronger. And it doesn't matter. You know, this is the strange thing where everything's become so politicized. It doesn't matter whether you buy beans from a company that the CEO happens to support the president or doesn't. Most people don't want every facet of our lives to be politicized. So when you turn on ESPN, it's all politics, or you turn on the Cartoon Network and it's all politics. And I think the idea that people are taking more responsibility, in a certain way, it's linked to the previous story. People are taking personal responsibility to protect themselves. And I think people are taking personal responsibility and saying, oh, I see someone being brave, standing up for what they believe in, right, so I want to support them. So cancel culture. I mean, people really have had it. And if you don't cancel it, by the way, it will come for you. You know, your silence is acquiescing to it. You're just a frog in a slowly boiling pot, and it usually does not work out well for the frog.
It never does. Look how political we've gotten over a can of beans. All right, Dave Rubin, thank you very much for joining us live from L.A. on this Tuesday morning.
My pleasure, guys.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist, all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.